Hello everybody, today is June the 3rd, 2024. I'm gonna go over some names. Today I sold all my positions today. I had some swings. I had swings on Roblox, Affirm, and Carvana. And so I'll go over those briefly, and then I'm just gonna take a look, or we're gonna take a look at some names that I for now think that might be useful or interesting to take a look at. Again, I have to find something for to swing, I guess, this week for next week. So I'm a day trader. I also swing. Normally, I like to keep an eye on the one-day chart, and then I move down on time frames. So that is just my style of trading, and it works out for me. This is not financial advice. I strongly suggest you make your own decisions and your own research, but if this is useful, that is great. I'm happy for it. Anyways, Bitcoin. I like the behavior of Bitcoin. I think 67,300 is a critical support level. If we actually want to see a continuation towards all-time highs, or at least towards a higher price point. So seeing a little rebound here or a retest, I think would be optimal for this, for the behavior of the candles. Considering that we have the MACD and the TSI over the zero line, that would be interesting to see these indicators cool down a little bit, even though they are not overbought or anything like that, but would be nice to see them a little bit lower and then see the reaction back after we bounce off on this level. If we go under 67,300, I think the SMA 35, which is this line right here, should be our next level of support, and then we can probably predict if it keeps going down, then 59 is very real, or if it bounces back, then 67 is the next resistance level again. But for now, let's keep an eye on the support 67,300 and see how that behaves. Let's move on to Celsius. I did play Celsius last week. My options went up 700%, which was very great. But sometimes one of the issues that I run into, because I'm very paranoid when I trade, is that I don't let my runners run. And this is a great example of it. I bought right here on this candle, on this red candle on the 23rd. And then I sold right here on the 28th. So, and I sold when we were bouncing or playing on the SMA 35, which to me is an indicator of either you're gonna break and keep going down, and this actually happened, or you're just gonna bounce, and since I saw this candle being so dramatic, I was like, why not? I can sell just right here. So I did. I'm happy with that, but again, then when you see the progression of the price action, I definitely left money on the table. I'm fine with that. I'm just trying to give an example of what happens when you just jump into a decision without taking a look at the big picture. And what is the big picture is that we still had the MACD and the TSI just curling back and crossing the signal lines. It was still over the zero line, which is another good indication. So, I guess, again, my decision was based on the price action going around the SMA 35, and my thought was like, it could easily bounce here. And to be honest, last week when I saw these three candles right here that were bouncing on the SMA 35, I felt like, I guess I made the right decision. Well, today, surprise, surprise, we went down minus 23%, so, or 6.23%. So yeah, I mean, I already sold, but I do think, considering how these two indicators are behaving, and considering that we still have some room on the RSI, 68 is a next support level to take a look at, and it might actually bounce. So my next position could also be a call, depending on how the price is going to behave on this area. So just keep an eye on these names, and just try to learn about being more patient which is something that I keep working on. I'm very paranoid, but the good thing about that is that I walk away with money, and I don't get, I guess, I don't risk my money too much. But sometimes when I see this, I kind of like to kick myself on the balls, but it is what it is. Next would be Microsoft. Where are you? Interesting, Microsoft is actually playing on the SMA 35, which I'm considering a support level at this point, at least on the short term. On Friday we had this hammer, it went down, it actually came back, but sellers are still in control. The same today, not as bad, and we still didn't break, or we didn't go over the resistance level, which is at 415. So what I'm gonna be looking at, actually, I might actually day trade this tomorrow, considering how I see the chart right here and how it looked when it closed. I think it's a good opportunity to buy puts, but we'll see. So I might actually day trade this tomorrow on the kind of like the short side, but we also have to keep an eye on, this is a 5-minute chart, how things are behaving against the EMA 9 and 20, and also the SMA 35. Other than that, I think that if we break under the SMA 35, 398 is quite possible. So again, it's one of these names that I played I think a couple of weeks back in this somewhere in this area, and then I saw like 2 or 3 days later, so I was pretty happy with that. But it was also kind of easy to predict that it was gonna go down. I mentioned Amazon also, that was gonna have the same situation, and now you're here. Roblox, where are you, Roblox? So this is another example. Well, I have to find it first. This is another example of selling too soon. I did sell my calls for Roblox. They were doing great, and so I'm happy that I walk away with money. That is cool. But in reality, I think that 35, which was my price target, is gonna be reached. And what upsets me here is it's not like my options are gonna expire on Friday. My options were to expire. These options were gonna expire, I believe, in the middle of June of this month. So I had a couple of more weeks. But I think I saw a little bit of weakness in the market early in the day, and I just started selling things, and I guess it was a mistake in the sense of like, why not letting it run a little bit more. And again, if you take a look at these indicators right here, they're all telling you that the momentum is continuing towards at least 35. I think when we get to 35, and if we test this level right here, or if it's a little pullback and then going back again, I will probably get another position at 35, but I will be a little uncomfortable, because at that point it won't be looking the way I like to look as far as the TSI and the MACD on my entries. But we'll see. I think this can definitely run to 35.75 area, and maybe bounce from there. But we'll see. Again, I still like Roblox. I wish I didn't sell, but I did. But at the same time, I'm walking away with money. Yet I'm leaving money on the table. That sucks. Okay, what else after Roblox? Starbucks. Starbucks is actually looking good. I was on Starbucks on this area right here. I did buy Starbucks because we were coming into this low liquidity area, which was the gap that happened after earnings, and not only earnings, but the interviews that the CEO was giving that weren't the best. So my decision was based on the behavior of the TSI, the MACD, the RSI. They were all telling you the same story. It wasn't a difficult trade to decide. I think I got in this candle, and I left somewhere on the top of this candle, not all the way, but somewhere around here. And I was pretty pleased with my trade. Yet we still see a continuation here. I do believe that 84.42, let's say 84.5, is actually a good level to take a look at. However, I do think that the SMA 35 and the price action are going to meet first. So if you mount the SMA 35, you're probably going to mount 84, no problem. And I think in short, I think this gap is going to be filled sooner than what we think. This needs to chill a little bit. I think it's spiking a little bit too fast, but I like it. I like how StarBucks is working. What else do I have? I was gonna mention Tesla, but I'm not going to. I think it's just flat and untradeable. Who wants to trade this? Nobody. Uber. I like Uber. The support level, which is 63.4, is looking pretty stubborn. I think it's a strong and critical support level, which was a resistance at some point and then turned support, went up, and now is support again. We do have this tiny gap right here. I don't care much about that. The SMA 35 is still coming down and it's going to start catching up with this with the price right here, and we obviously have a divergence here between the RSI and the price action. What I would like to see is either the price continuing around this area or this level, and then see a reaction towards a higher price point. I'm just gonna keep an eye on this. I think this is something that you should actually put on your list, just because how things are behaving right now. And you can see a little bit of a curling on the indicator, especially the EMA 9 and the 20 and the 20, and then the MACD and the TSI look pretty neutral. They are under the zero line. I like to see that. I like to have entries that are under the zero line, and they're kind of like pretty low levels, so I can take an entry that feels not very risky. I'm gonna talk about some other positions that I had today, other than Roblox. Affirm. I did buy Affirm up here, and I sold today. I think this is gonna keep going to the 26 level. The reason why I sold is because I'm not very patient, and this was taking forever. And even though I had mid-June options for Affirm, I just don't like when something moves that slow, and so I sold. I was green, which I'm happy about, but I also think that this can go to 26. But again, I just didn't want to wait, and it's my style of trading as well. There's a combination of paranoia with lack of patience, and again, if I don't see these indicators behaving like this, for example, in a kind of like a violent way, I'm out. I just don't want to be in it. You know, like this right here looks great. Like this whole thing right here looked fantastic, right? But over here, it's just taking forever. I don't want to be part of it. So I rather, I don't know. I just don't even want to think about it. So I sold. Carvana. I did tell you, everybody, I said, if you go under 111, 90 is going to be on the table. Well, that is happening, and I think it's going to happen. Look at this, at the behavior of this chart right here, and if you don't see how volatile this is, and how, for lack of a better term, violent this looks, that is going to tell you that there is going to be a pretty nice move coming up. In contrast to Affirm, for example. So I was in these two names. I sold both of them today. Again, I sold everything today, and I'm happy with this because I think I was up like 100% or something like that. So I was happy with this. I do think that 90 is gonna come, and then you have double areas of support. Again, in my opinion, the SMA 35 that you can see here came 1, 2, almost 3, 4 times. So I wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised if this is a fifth time. So the SMA and the price action are gonna meet before we get to 90.64, I think. So, or it might happen simultaneously, and then you can assess if this is gonna keep going up or not. But you know, to be honest, in my opinion, Carvana is a shit company, and you know, I don't know much about their balance sheet or how they're doing, but common sense tells me that it's nothing that I would like to be stuck with for too long. Let's get this right here. That's an anchor VRAP. So yeah, that's what I had in Carvana. This trade worked on my the way I wanted. It was great. I have all these trades on X, and actually look at that monster right there. I have them right here. So I mentioned SBUX today and Roblox, and then Carvana. I think the first time I mentioned Carvana was on the 22nd. Let's go back to the chart. Yeah, so I did buy Carvana, I believe, on the 22nd. No, I don't think I did. There is no way. So I did buy Carvana on the 23rd. And the reason why I know I didn't buy on this is because I was waiting for this support level right here, for sure. But normally, you could take this trade right here. Once you see this kind of momentum, this kind of move, you know, you could actually come into this very weak doji candle and keep going. But I think I actually got in on the 23rd. And today was my last day in Carvana. So I don't have any other names. I do have to look into stuff that is going to be interesting in the future. I think I wanna play Microsoft tomorrow. I'll let you know. I will probably go short on Microsoft, but and it will be a day trade. And there are some names that I like that I'm just keeping an eye on. XLI, and then I have Caterpillar. But when I see the MACD and the TSI, I feel like I already missed the boat, and here would have been great. But anyways, I have to find something. So I'll work on that today, and then I'll share those ideas tomorrow. Okay, everybody. Thank you.